Fox 5 TV, and Marching Arts Education present Marching Arts Now!
Today, we talk with Chuck Henson, the voice of Bands of America, Lindsey Vento, renowned marching arts designer, and Dan Valdez from TX Bands. Hey everybody, it's Tim Hinton, the beast of the marching arts. I'm here with Jason Robb. Jason, how are you?
Doing great, Tim.
We're very excited. We had a first BOA regional weekend, lots of great performances. There was a lot of great stories. What would you like to say about this first weekend of competition?
Well, it was so crazy because the heat in Texas just wiped everyone out. And you know, I got a lot of text messages from friends and clients down that went to the South Texas regional, and it was like in the upper, like over 100 degrees. I can't even imagine what the temperatures were on the turf. Like their shoes were melting off. But it sounded like everyone had great performances and just awesome. I mean, for me, it was just great to see, you know, performers on the field again and getting those shows out for people to witness, which was fantastic. So.
Yeah, it was wonderful. The band is back. And of course, the people of Bands of America did such a great job of taking care of students. They stopped the show, waited until the evening and let those groups finish. So they took care of students. Of course, health and safety of the performers is always the most important thing. So I was really proud and impressed with what Music for All did as far as taking care of those performers. Another thing that was interesting about all the regionals was they had drum major only retreats. And so the students got to be in the stands and cheer. And the TX band guys were talking about how fun that was to see the students cheering for themselves and being excited about the scores and things, because normally they're out in the field all buttoned up and they can't really do that.
Yeah, I love that. You know, I've been at other contests where they have that, where everyone's up in the stands and super exciting. And I mean, it's kind of like when they announce the finalists. You know, when they announce the finalists at BOA events, usually the whole back stands filled with students. I love the energy of when the kids can kind of let loose a little bit. It's one of my favorite parts of contest stage, that prelims to finals. So it's neat to see that happening at the end of the regionals as well.
Absolutely. And we're going to be hearing from Dan Valdez later about this coming up weekend. But another thing he was talking about was in the Dayton Regional, was just how amazing those Kentucky bands were. Actually, all the bands were there. Were just playing like crazy. And, you know, Jason, it's early. So to have these great music performances this early, there's just a lot of good teaching going on.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, people are coming back with a fury, and people are just so excited to get back to the field. You see a lot of the work that was happening over the summer as they return to performing this fall, which was outstanding.
One more time.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Hinton. I'm here with the wonderful Lindsey Vento. Lindsey, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Of course, Lindsey is a marching arts designer extraordinaire. We all know of her work. And Lindsey, we are here to talk about marching bands, some highlights and moments from last weekend's first weekend contest. Band is back.
I am so excited. It's one of those like euphoric feelings. It's one you can watch any band, all bands, and get excited. It doesn't matter where they finish. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter how big or small, but you watch it and you're just giddy about it being back. So at least that's me.
Well, we're here to talk about some of the highlights, some of the moments that we love from last weekend's first weekend of BOA competition. Lindsey, the first time I met you, which was in the lot at a drum corps in Indianapolis, we were like, we should have a talk show together. And so like, here we are, like we're going to talk band.
We are. Let's talk band. This is what we do, right?
Let's do it. So we're going to show some very short clips, and then we're going to each have 20 seconds to talk about something we love. We're going to start with Roma High School from Texas. 20 seconds. What do you think?
Well, the first thing I noticed, the color palette I love. You know, you don't always see that the guard costumes always match, which is a weird word, but coordinate with the band uniform. I thought that was really striking for them. But the biggest thing I noticed when I'm watching that clip is how smart they are with the body layering for the wins. You notice it right out of the gate. And they do, if you really look at it, they're doing such simple things, but they're doing it in a way where everybody does it well. And I think that's something that everybody can write down in their little handy dandy notebook, that if you're going to do something, it needs to be done at the utmost excellence. And I found that they did the body layering that they offered, they did it all extremely well. Every person matched down the line.
I totally agree with you. And the trick is always what's the right thing, not only for this show and this concept, but also the right thing for my students with their level of experience and their level of training to be able to achieve. And I agree with you. I thought they nailed that. My comment is about, boy, can this band play. Like, I can't believe that it's early September and this band sounds like that. And when the TX Bands guys suggested this band as one of the, you know, those sort of like hidden gems of like, wow, who is this band? And they were like, boy, they can just really play.
And that's a compliment when the TX Band guys say this band can play, right? That's a big compliment.
No doubt about that at all. Let's watch the next band from the Dayton Regional, Archbishop Alter High School from Ohio. All right, so a very small band being very successful. Lindsay, you have 20 seconds, go.
Well, the Chuck Mangione, isn't that feel so good? I think that's what the Chuck Mangione piece is.
It is.
The second you hear it, it just makes it, doesn't it make you just, you're into it, right? The colors of the props, the colors of the uniforms, the costuming, it totally fits with what he's playing, number one. And then everybody looks, I mean, you can see, if you really look into it, you notice those WINS members, I'm assuming they're WINS, or visual cast run from behind and start to peel into it. And it looks like whoever's crafting the program had a plan, had it all thought out. I mean, the front ensemble's in the field. I mean, there wasn't a huge pan back, but I mean, that front ensemble's not at the front of the field, right? So there was the level of plan. I'd like to watch the show in its entirety on my own, because the level of planning that had to go into all of those things being coordinated visually and aesthetically jump off the page to me.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I can't comment about this band because, Lindsay, I wrote this show.
Oh, you did?
I wrote the music and the drill. So thank you for that compliment. And there was a lot of planning. That's so hilarious. But anyway, I do have a clip from the band director of this school, Todd Tucker, talking about their decision to use all flugelhorns in the upper brass.
We landed on, you know, a Chuck Mangione sort of themed show. The one thing we knew we had to feature was flugelhorn, and so when we first envisioned that, you know, obviously we're going to have some flugelhorn soloists, but as we started to talk a little bit more about music and design and, you know, what we bring to the table as far as wind players, we thought it might be a neat idea to, what if we only use flugelhorns? And so what if we move all of our trumpet kids and all of our mellophone players and just put them all on flugelhorn the entire time?
Thank you, Todd Tucker. This is an example of the kinds of interviews and conversations we're having every weekend on the broadcast at Box 5 TV. So everybody sign up and watch this stuff. There's all kinds of extra content that we're creating at Marching Arts Education. By the way, Lindsay, small band, there's like one clarinet player, one flute player, one sax player. Like, you have to really, small bands don't get enough credit for how important each single member has to be.
Well, they don't. It's you don't have a, you know, trumpet section of 24 where 5 of them, they can't play that lick, so they bail out and you would never know, right? I mean, you don't have that luxury. So these small bands that are putting out this effort need all the standing ovations, because everybody has to do their part. We say that as educators, right? Everybody has to do their part. But if a couple of your third clarinets don't play, no one's going to know. But on a band like this one that we just watched, you're going to know if the clarinet player doesn't show up, right? So, I mean, tons of admiration.
Yeah. And the other thing I love about it too is it shows that you don't have to be a gigantic band to be successful and go to a Bands of America Regional and have a great experience. This band has to do a lot of thinking about, well, how are we going to stand out? How are we going to be different? How are we going to make our thing work? But, you know, Lindsay, every band has that conversation with whoever they have to work with. Let's go on to the next band. We're going to jump to Carmel High School from Indiana. Okay, wow, Lindsay, go. You got 20 seconds. What did you think?
A lot to unpack there. Well, first of all, it's Carmel. I mean, they're always fantastic, right? I mean, anything they put on the field is mesmerizing and it's intriguing, and you're totally bought in and interested. The way they're using those props, it is such a mass amount of those props, and how they use them so early in the season, how well they actually hit those dots. I think every band in America is like, how did they do that? Is really remarkable. And then if you notice, even on top, they've got instruments playing on top. So what I would take away from me is obviously wonderful, but anybody who's watching this, I want to caution everybody to think, oh, look at all those props that look so cool, and there's kids on top of the props playing, and look at all this. We can do that too. There again, we're talking about a band who is so seasoned and has a staff that's so deep in this kind of performance aspect and the production quality that comes into that. Again, we're talking about the planning. That's a lot of planning. That's a lot of time and energy into that. But of course, they're fantastic. I mean, the woodwinds alone jump off the field, and they have just such a massive sound all the time. It's wonderful.
I know everybody that watches this clip is thinking, oh my gosh, can you imagine having a band or being in a band that could perform like that in the middle of September? It's absolutely astounding. Of course, we're all excited to see what in the world they're going to be doing at the end of the season. Yeah, and it's very cool. Those props start as a wall, and the whole band is sort of out of sight behind them. It's a really, really interesting setup. So everybody keep your eyes out and watch for more broadcasts of Carmel and other bands like this throughout the season. Great job, everybody at that team. All right, the last band we're going to talk about is Whitewater High School from Georgia. So the TX Band guys suggested this one because they're like, who doesn't want to see a Mario Brothers show? Like, how cool is that? How much fun is this? Lindsay, what'd you think?
Well, biggest takeaway is how smart they were with their field setup. They knew that they didn't have a big band. And so you have 100 yards, whether you're Carmel, who we just watched, or you're this band here, you still have 100 yards to use. So in order to help that band look like it's filling the space, because that's important as people watching it, for some reason we like when things fill the space, closing that field down with the props that they used, so smart, because then they fill whatever zone they're trying to fill. The color guard being that set we just watched, wonderfully executed. The color guard all being up front, so well done. It's really a lot of smart choices in that small clip.
Yeah, I just think it's a show, I always say it's a show that I want to lean in and I can't wait. What's going to happen next? This is really fun. And of course, we didn't get to see the whole production. So this is another band that we're going to be watching for to see, as the season progresses. Super fun and creative, and it looked like they were having a good time. And I like when band kids look like they're enjoying their show.
That is so important, and if it should be important every season. But if at all, it's right now. It's after a season. So many teams didn't have a season last year in the way that they are used to, due to all of the COVID madness. And so it is so imperative that your students are having a good time, feeling safe in their environment, being encouraged. That is just such a big thing right now. All students, they need it.
Well, Lindsay, this was really fun. Thank you for having these conversations. It's exciting to talk about some bands. We're going to be doing this every week here on Marching Arts Now. So thanks for having this conversation.
Oh, absolutely. I'll always talk band. You know that.
That's great.
From the box.
Joining us from Marching Arts Education, it's the beast of the marching arts. I like that.
That's right. You just made my day, Chuck Henson, the voice of Bands of America. And I count you as one of my friends. How are you, Chuck?
I'm well, sir. We've had a hell of a time trying to connect on this, but I'm glad that we have, and I'm glad that you're doing well.
I'm doing great, and I'm always happy to get to talk to you. And everybody, of course, everybody knows your voice, Chuck. You've been the announcer of Bands of America for a very, very long time. And what we're going to do on this crazy game I'm about to put you through, everybody, he has no warning about this. We have created and tried to find the hardest to pronounce city names in the United States, and we're going to throw those at him.
All right.
Of course, you would never do this, Chuck. I know in real life you would practice so it would just come right out of your mouth and nobody would ever know you couldn't say it. But we're not letting you do that today.
Well, in real life, I radio down to the field and have someone let a kid say it. And then I hear it, and then we go on from there.
Now that is very smart. So you know you're going to get it right.
Little cheat, yeah. But it's
I
all
love
for the
that.
benefit of the children, so all good.
To tell you everybody, we're taking you behind the scenes. We're taking you behind the scenes.
All right.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's the first one. People at home are going to be able to see the words up on the screen. But Chuck, I want you to just, as quickly as you can, give it your best shot. Here we go.
Okay. All right, go. I'm watching. Oh my gosh. Joining us from Scandinalist, New York, the Scandinalist High School Marching Band.
All right.
What do they do?
Well, according to my sources, it's actually.
Can it tell us? Scandinalist?
According to my sources, it's Scandinalist.
Scandinalist? Oh, all right. Well, I'm sorry for all the good children of Scandinalist that I just messed up their. Well, I'm not going to do well at this, am I? All right.
No, I mean, that was actually the easiest one. So,
the rest are all Hawaiian names, aren't they?
No, all right. You'd be able to figure that out phonetically. All right, so let's try another one, everybody, just for fun.
All right, go for it. Oh my gosh. Joining us from Taiwan, Kentucky, the Taiwan High School Marching Band. I am from Kentucky, and that is not a real place. I'm just here to tell you that right now.
It's on a map. I think it's Taiwapiti, but I'm not sure about that.
Taiwapiti. I'm sure, much like my good friend Joel Denton at Ultawa would say, practice makes perfect. Thank goodness, back in the day when Ultawa, no one knew what that was. At least I could get that one right. So, sorry, Taiwapiti.
You're doing
By
great.
the way, as a Kentuckian, I salute you, Taiwapiti.
That is excellent. That's excellent. By the way, Chuck,
where did you find that place?
I had somebody search for hard names, so I farmed this out, everybody. I don't take responsibility, except I'm making you go through this.
Okay.
Chuck, I don't know.
I'm failing miserably. So, all right, what's next?
No, you're doing great. All right, let's do another one. All right, here we go.
Well, I want to say Natchitoches, but I believe joining us from Natchitoches, Louisiana. Natchitoches. I'm pretty right on
that was good. I actually think it's Natchitoches. But I could be wrong, everybody. I mean, yours sounded better than mine on this one.
I think Natchitoches has been. I know I've been there. I think. Who knows? Who knows?
By the way, Chuck, I don't think everybody knows what a hunk you are. I asked you to wear a polo shirt today because you have really been working out and your arms are stretching those shirts.
Dude, I am way behind. I wasn't able to get to the gym all week last week, so I feel like I've lost 10 pounds already. So you know how that goes, right?
It's all in your mind, but believe me, you're in great shape. And I love that the man that's calling out the names and setting kids up for success on the field is also like an in shape gym kind of guy.
Look, by the time this airs, I'll be 59 years old. So
really,
59. Next week is my birthday, so bring it. I say bring it. Anybody who wants to challenge a 59-year-old to do what I'm doing right now.
Happy birthday to you. This may be my favorite one. Are you ready?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. What do we got? No, that's not real. All right. Joining us from Zeitgeist, California, the Zeitgeist High School Marching Band. How'd I do?
Right, see, this upsets me because you got that one right. I'm pretty sure it's Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist is right.
Zeitgeist,
all I know is that I take a lot of Zyrtec, and so I think if you're a pharmaceutical Flonase guy, the Z's and the Y's, X's don't mess you up. Zeitgeist.
I love it. Okay, so there's one more, everybody, and all I'm going to say, Chuck, is may the force be with you. All right.
Bring it. No. Oh my God. All right. The print is really small, and I have my readers on. All right. Wait. You got to give me just a minute with this one. Oh, come on. Do they have a marching band there? I don't think they do. I don't think there's even a high school there, to be honest with you. I'm kidding.
Well, none of these are real high schools that I'm aware of. We just made that part out because that's what you always say.
Joining us from Nunthalagagagunda Beta Bori Dunes, Alaska. You know who could get that right? Let me tell you for real. Alan Smith would get that right. He would spend a week with that. He would research it, and so would I, quite frankly. when and I forget the name of the school now, but a group from Hawaii that came to Concert Band Festival years ago, I spent a week with those names before I had to do them, so that I knew them so well. They would just roll, but oh my God, that's a real place?
That is apparently a real place in Alaska.
No, okay, you go. How do you pronounce it?
Oh, no, we have no idea.
Oh, so you weren't ready to stump. You see, no, you should have had like Google Speech ready to go. Boop, here's how you say it.
No, not Volkok. I don't know what it is, but it's a cool place. I'm sure it's an indigenous name, and I love that.
I'm sure there's wonderful people that live there who love marching band.
Let's hope.
Alaskan marching band.
I'm sure there must be some. So everybody that's watching this, here's what we're going to do. We want you to go to, I'm going to ask Chuck to record 3 special phrases. If you go to our Instagram at Marching Arts Education, that's what it is, Marching Arts Education on Instagram. Right. You will vote, and then next week on this show, we will have Chuck say the special phrase. So Chuck, thanks for being such a good sport. I really
thank you. I feel like I failed completely on this. So thank you, Tim. My inadequacy is complete now, and I'm going to move on.
No, it's a complete setup. I mean, this would never be the way it works in real life. But Chuck, you're such a perfectionist, and you take it so seriously that I really felt like it would be fun to set you up.
Well, I hope that I don't run into any of these names on the road this fall, and if I do, I will spend time rehearsing them. All right?
He absolutely will, everybody. Chuck, you're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Rundown.
Hey, I'm here with Daniel Valdez from txbands.com. Daniel, you guys were there live blogging at all the events last weekend at the 3 BOA events. How did it go?
It was busy. This is a project. It's a huge project that we've undertaken. Usually we're taking care of 1 Texas regional, and then sometimes there's 2 Texas regionals during that period. But with 3 regionals going on in 3 different states, it was a lot to coordinate. Fortunately, we have an incredible blogging team that's willing to be there in person or to do it virtually, and they did a fantastic job. For those of you who don't know, live blogging, it's 100% positive reviews. Everybody gets their moment in the sun. Every soloist is highlighted. We talk up everybody. We want these kids to feel like what they're doing is important. So it was a very exciting weekend that we got to do this in September for the first time in 2 years. It was awesome.
Very exciting. You guys did a great job. Everybody, you should, of course, we want you to be watching the broadcast at Box 5 TV, and then watch the live blog and participate in that. And there's pictures and reviews of all the stuff that's happening for every single band. I love that. So we have 4 regionals coming up this weekend. I cannot wait to be watching this on Box 5 TV. What are we looking forward to?
I said, remember the weekends in the past when it was 2 regionals and we couldn't wrap our minds around it? We have 4 regionals this weekend. It's amazing. We're gonna be in Obetz, Ohio, Fortress Obetz. Name a better name for a stadium out there. I dare you. You can't. Mainly Ohio programs, but we love seeing programs from other states, neighboring states come by and visit. You got Clarksville, Tennessee. You're at Austin Peay University. There's 15 programs signed up. It's a small contest. However, 7 different states are being represented there. You're going through Tennessee and Illinois and Kentucky and Alabama and Arkansas, and Mississippi and Indiana. They're all being represented. It's such a neat deal. Then we come down to Texas. Let's do this. North Houston Regional. You're like, North Houston? What does that mean? There is such a demand for Bands of America contests in the Houston area that they have to have 2 area regionals for the Houston contest. So North Houston up in Conroe at Wood Forest Bank Stadium, it's going to be up there this weekend. So it's just overwhelming demand. So it's going to be a great contest. And then the Austin Regional, which has been going on at the same stadium, Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex. It's 2013. These are contests you do not want to miss. There are some excellent programs that are going to be there showing off and getting back to it. And remember, we're still early season. So there's a lot of programs that didn't have a competitive season last year that maybe just went to a couple of football games last year due to pandemic. They're getting back on the field, doing their contest preparations and the rituals for the first time in 2 years. So far it's been super special. It's going to be even more special next week.
So, of course, everybody be watching on Box 5 TV. Sign up for the season pass. You can watch all this, flip around, watch all different shows at all the different events at the same time. It's very exciting. Or, of course, you can sign up a la carte for your one event that you want to see. But don't miss this. Great bands happening this weekend. You don't want to miss out. We're going to be doing special interviews and conversations, telling stories about the bands. Daniel, thanks for everything you're doing with the team at TX Bands. Going to be following that live blog on this weekend. Can't wait to see it all.
Said we can't wait to bring you this awesome, wonderful vlogging stuff. It's awesome. We can't wait to see you at the events. Get out to the events and sign up and watch these programs on Box 5 Media.
Absolutely. Thanks, Daniel.
You got it.
Bring it in.
All right, everyone. Well, Tim, I'm really excited. We have 4 BOE regionals. We're going into week 2, a very exciting season. I don't know about you, but I just can't wait to see how these bands keep improving week to week.
Absolutely. So excited that band is back. Jason can't wait for the season to keep going. Everybody watch those broadcasts on Box 5 TV. Beast of the Marching Arts. See you next week.
Box 5 TV and Marching Arts Education present Marching Arts Now.